So we're back down the unit today. If you caught the last video, turn away from the sun. Actually, I'm in the sun now. If you caught the last video where we went to the track with the MG and the BMW, you'll remember that unfortunately the thermostat failed on the MG, which meant I couldn't run it for the rest of the day. So I thought, shit, that's a shame, but no biggie. Listen, I'll order a thermostat, we'll get it up and running. We've got a track day. It's Sunday the 11th now. We've got a track day tomorrow, 12th at Castle Combe. So I was down here last week, armed with a new thermostat that I got from DMGRS. Big thanks to them. If you own an MG, ZS or any of the MGs, they are absolutely spot on for parts. They're really, really helpful, really, really good. And a big shout out and a thanks to the guys on the MG Track and Race Cars group as well, and the MG Owners Club on Facebook and stuff, because those guys they're so helpful. Just want to say thank you. Anyway, came down here Thursday night, armed, ready. Big job. Much bigger than I expected, to be honest. Let me show you what I mean. So if I flip the camera, thermostat is sat in there, right underneath the V. You've got to take an absolute plethora of things off just to change this little thing. You're probably wondering why it looks like that. Shouldn't look like that. But the reason it looks like that is because upon reassembly, so cut myself to pieces, spent hours getting everything stripped off. I tried, rookie mistake, I tried to, yeah, it's probably fair to say cut corners. I tried not to take off as much as I should have taken off to try and get the job done quicker. Anyway, got the thermostat on, got it all piped up, got it all nut and bolted back on. Brilliant. Thought, here we go. Got Greg in the car. I was under the bonnet, making sure things were kosher and all okay. Greg started cranking the ignition and fuel started pissing out the fuel rail. Let me show you what I mean. So, go back to the car. This fuel rail here goes like this on the manifold. When that manifold's back on, it connects to this one via, where has she gone? Aha! This wee jobby here, this pipe. And what you'll notice, if you're keen-eyed, see that O-ring? Should be one there. What happened was, it started whipping out of fuel here. Me being me, there's a metal bracket that goes on here. So with a screwdriver, I tried to jimmy it off so that I could put the fuel pressure pipe, so I could put the, so I could connect the thing tighter, just see if I could plug the leak. Didn't think about it. Whipped the bracket off. Must have created a spark. Whole thing went up in fucking flames. I literally set fire to the car. It was ablaze for about 45 seconds. Obviously, when the fire struck, I thought, got a fire extinguisher in the car, no problem. Let me go and get it. Didn't work. So I emptied the Hoover bag all over it, thinking that the debris and dust and stuff from in there might suppress the fire enough to put it out. Didn't. So Greg, in his wisdom, ran next door and got a fire extinguisher from Rich's workshop. And I managed to put the fire out with a powder fire extinguisher. But it was ablaze for about 45 seconds. Obviously, I thought the worst. We wheeled the car out, got it round to the jet washer, just jet washed all the thing off so I could see the extent of the damage. Couldn't tell because it was dark by then. So I've come back down today to see where I'm at. So let's flip the camera around and show you. Obviously, I've got fire extinguisher on hand today because me being me, history could repeat itself. So what we've got is, let's start with the thermostat, the job we started with in the first place. It's actually intact. It doesn't look damaged. I probably will order another one just for safety, but as a result of the foam, water and all the crud I used to try and put it out, there is just this solution everywhere. What I can only describe is a shite-like solution, nicely congealed all in and around the V there. It looks like we've got some charring on the fuel rail there. The alternator pipe cable connector took a bit of a beating, but it's okay. The coil packs have got some signs of fire damage on there, so I'll be replacing those. I've broken one of these pipes as well, trying to get it all off, so I'll be replacing that. Manifold gasket, I have to replace it again. You can see it's quite an in-depth job just to do the thermostat, to be honest. MG being the MG, it's not a typical car where the thermostat's nicely located on the side or something. No, you've got to take the whole shyster box off. It's, in essence, this thermostat, what happens is this bit bolts in here, or just pops in there, should I say, and on these two pipes here, holes there, you get these two bits, which connect to these two hoses. This one and this one. So it's a right sod of a job. You've got to take the whole lot off. Inlet manifold, which is in the car, you've got to take that off. You've got to take exhaust manifold off, replace the gasket while you're at it. Fuel rail's got to come off. There is shortcuts to it if people know what they're doing, but if you're like me and you don't know what you're doing so well, you've got to do it the long way. But anyway, that's what happened. So, a difficult job turned into what I would say is probably one of my worst nightmares. It's something that we overlooked, to be quite honest, or I certainly overlooked. In fact, at one point, Greg was like, should we get a fire extinguisher if you're pissing about with fuel? I said, shut up, Greg. Jesus, don't insult me. Do you know what I mean? I'll be fine. And yeah, the inevitable obviously happened. He was right. So take full responsibility. Luckily, no one was hurt. Nothing else got damaged. This did happen in the unit where there were other cars around. So listen, it's an absolute learning, you know, a hard lesson learned for me, because it's something that I overlooked, and inevitably I could have caused a lot of damage. I mean, that fire could have got a lot worse. It could have ignited the fuel pipes down to the fuel tank. You know, we could have had a real problem on our hands. So we're super lucky. So it was a blaze for about 45 seconds, and all it did really was, it's probably about 150, 200 quid's worth of damage to the car, and put a massive dent in my ego. But listen, hard lesson learned, take full responsibility, won't happen again, I'd like to think and like to say. But that is where we're at with the MG now. So I've got to get back all the DMGRS, get a load of bits, try and get back down here to get it done so she's ready for another track day this year, which should be doable. I've just got to get the bits that I need, and my little one's due any time between now and the 29th is the due date, so God knows that could come at any minute, which would then prolong this, of course. But it is what it is. Hopefully I can get it put together beforehand so that we can get the car back out on track in the next couple of months before we lose the weather. And it would be nice to see the MG actually complete a track day this year. She is getting old now, so you know, these things are going to happen. Not these things, well, not the catching fire isn't an age-related thing, that's a me-related thing, that, so can't blame it on anything else. But yeah, in hindsight, the culprit all along was that silly little O-ring there. Luckily you can get a kit from DMGRS, so completely overlooked that. Anyway, I'll leave it like that. I'll say thanks very much if you're watching. Leave a thumbs up if you like the video. I certainly didn't enjoy having to get to the point where I made a video like this, but it is what it is. So leave a thumbs up if you like the video. It really helps the channel out. Subscribe, comment. I can't wait for the comments. I'm sure I'll be berated to death, but I think I deserve it. So bring it on. And I very much look forward to seeing you in the next video.